Okay, now the pie, this is one of the recipes from my book. And so you guys can either work from the book or I can direct your path because I've got all these memorized anyway. So
Go right ahead.
I need a couple of people, some people to do the filling and then some people to do the pie crust. So who's our pastry chefs in the room? Right there? Okay. Good to go.
You have pointy fingers.
Okay, let me get another bowl for the berries. Okay, so we're going to do a mixed berry pie. Looks like this has got raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we're going to do 5 cups of mixed berries. You can do this with any fruit. It doesn't matter what fruit you use, any fruit. Now, if you want to do 3 cups of flour into the bowl. I told you guys it's going to be hands-on the whole time. So.
Awesome.
And this is in the book, or
this is in the pie is going to be in the pie book.
Okay, good.
Is this just all-purpose flour?
What's that?
All-purpose flour.
Yeah, this is just an all-purpose flour. There's no big deal with that. Okay, now for a lot of pastries, there's 2 ways to do things. You just have to have basically twice the amount of flour as you do the fat. Butter works really well. Butter flavored Crisco works really well. One trick with butter, if you don't want to cut in your butter, you can always just take and freeze your butter and then grate it with a grater. I got butter flavored Crisco. I'm going to make you do it the old-fashioned way and cut it in with a cutter. But if I am using the Crisco, I don't like to put Crisco in my measuring cups because it is a beast to clean them out. So, and I've tried the floating thing with the water and it just never works as well, not as accurate. But these things are great. These are 1 cup a piece. So, if we need 1.5 cups of Crisco with the 3 cups of flour, how many of these do we need? 1.5. Okay. So, but before we get that far, we're going to put in some salt and toss it with our flour. So we're going to put in 1 teaspoon of salt. And I have my teaspoons right there. 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, pretty simple. Here's a knife. We can cut one of those things in half. Okay, so go ahead and take that stick of butter. Okay, now let me show you guys just a real trick before I let her go with this. With these type of pastry cutters, these are great. I like to have a bowl with the tapered sides. And then what I like to do is take and then work it on the side and cut it in like this and just turn the bowl as I go. That tends to be the best way for me. Now you want to cut this in to be about pea-sized chunks all the way around. Okay, so with the fruit, we need to put 1.5 cups of sugar and 1/2 cup of flour. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use cold water, we're going to use white vinegar, and we're going to use an egg. So this is a little different.
Yes,
and I'll tell you why it is a little different. First of all, vinegar is an acid. It isolates the protein in the egg whites, and it causes separation. So you get a very flaky pie crust this way. So what we're going to do is put 5 tablespoons of this water in there, 1 egg, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. The water's just to bind. The vinegar and the egg are to cause separation. It's fantastic. This is one of those little life hack tricks that's so easy to do.
They'll start a lot faster than non-graders.
Okay, so keep mixing those berries in really well, as good as you can. And then if you'll just kind of semi-knead this, just enough to where they stick together. All you're trying to do with this, once you've cut the fat into your pastry, is just
try to get
it stuck together.
Without overworking it.
Without overworking it, because if you overwork it, you get a mealy, tough crust.
Yep.
Now, we're going to have the fun stuff with the pastry. Now it's time to roll it out. So, let me throw some of this away. Grab a rolling pin and some flour, and we'll roll it out. We're going to roll out about half of that. That's a very good pastry consistency right there. Obviously, you've done it before. Well, there you go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, I like to put flour on my board before I roll.
I'm going to go do it. And the difference with this one is it's spiral bound, but he's got on all the recipes he has the placement. So
Okay.
you're not having to guess.
There you go, and here's a nice silicone rolling pin.
Special deal, all this book for $60.
I like it because it's big. That's my favorite
How
part.
big are we going?
We're going to fit it inside this 10-inch Dutch oven, so we need to be about 12 inches, maybe a little bit bigger.
Whoa!
So use a pipe, but you put on trivet and then use a pipe.
I'm actually going to cook this pie directly in this Dutch oven.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, if you put parchment paper down in it, you can easily lift the Dutch oven out, or lift the pie out. You don't want to lift the Dutch oven out, lift the pie out of the Dutch oven. So first of all, what I'm going to do is run this along one side, okay, and I'm just going to fold it. Okay, and then I'm going to go through and do it on the other side and fold it. Do that right here. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to do it like that and fold it. Now I've got me a nice little pastry crust that I can easily lay down and drop into my pan.
I like it.
Put it in the center somewhat, and then just carefully unfold it the best you can. I cook a lot of pies at home, but I use a skillet in the oven rather than the Dutch oven.
Oh, you just use a cast iron skillet. In the
I
oven?
do. I don't even cook pies in pie tins anymore. I use the cast iron skillet almost exclusively.
Do you put parchment paper at home?
No, I just serve right out of the skillet. The only time I put parchment paper is if I'm doing like a competition and I want to.
Make it look really nice.
I know this is a cheating way of doing it, but I'm going to patch in a little right there.
Sheetrockers do that.
Yeah, sheetrockers do it. Everybody, I'm just spackling my pie crust a little bit. Not too big of a deal. As long as you don't have too much flour on it, usually it will go in all right. Okay, now we need to go ahead and dump the berries in here. So if somebody would like to take the privilege of dumping the berries in there. You can use any fruit, 5 cups of fruit, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour. If you got somebody who's gluten intolerant, you can use 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, works just as well. So, okay, now what we want to do is kind of pack these in fairly tight. Now we're going to do a lattice work on this. Okay, so we need to roll out another pastry. Okay, so if you guys want to come around here and watch how I do this lattice work, I'll show you a pretty cool trick for how to do this. Okay, first of all, I'm going to put one in the center, and then I'm going to put 2 on the sides. So I've got a total of 3 lattice works to start with, or lattice pieces. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 and fold them back in half, okay? Now I'm going to take another one and I'm going to go across just like this. Now I'm going to fold these 2 back into place, and I'm going to fold the next one in half. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this little guy right here in place. Okay, now I can fold this back like that, and then fold that back in half. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people never knew this trick, and it's so
It's a lot easier.
easy. Okay, now we're going to fold these 2 back. I'm going to cut this in half because I probably don't need that full. Okay, now I'm just going to set that there. Okay, now I can fold that down. I can fold this one down. Okay, now I do the same thing over here. Fold those 2 back. Okay, just like that. Okay, now on the sides, I'm just going to go ahead and do both of these at the same time. I'm going to fold that one back, cut this in half. I'm going to gonna go ahead and set it in like that. And, well, that one broke. That's okay. We got plenty of them to go. Set that one in right there. And really, that is all that is to a lattice work. That's a beautifully woven lattice work. Really, really nice. Okay, now there's several ways we can finish this. I'm going to antique this crust. So what I'm going to do is take this knife. I'm just going to go along the top and try to trim some of this excess pastry off. Now, antiquing the crust just means that you fold the crust over on top of the lattice work. That's all it is. Real simple way of doing it. It's not the prettiest way, but that's okay. It'll eat just as good, I promise.
You can almost taste it already.
So Matt, how many pies are in your Benjamin pie book?
There's 107 pies, I believe. Some sweet, some savory. Okay, so now to antique this crust, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take and pull it away and just fold it over. Just starting one section at a time. Just fold it down. Now the secret to making this crust get nice and pretty is to do an egg wash. Alright, so I'm just gonna crack an egg in here. Okay, and then we're going to put a little water in here. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of the egg with a little bit of water. The water is just enough to loosen the egg up. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, and I'm going to use my improvised basting brush. And I'm just going to go in here and just daub the top of that with the egg wash. So we're going to need probably about 21 coals in total.
So you put them slightly out, like that?
Yeah, you want to put them so they're sticking about halfway out. And then let's put a checkerboard across the top.